Melodioso. Speaks.
How's it going, everybody? Glad you guys are back here. I've been thinking about you guys too, okay? So here I am, I'm back. And boy, oh boy, has it been a week. Last week and, well, for me this week too. Been pretty busy, guys, so thanks for understanding. Thanks for hanging on, waiting for my videos. For those who are eagerly always on the edge of their seats, waiting for my videos, and I'm back here. So before we get to the whole crypto and studying the charts, I'm going to push that way in the back, and I'm just going to get back to business. I have a lot of dreams to discuss. I have some points of views I want to discuss. Like always, I have my timestamps on the bottom of the video, which is in the description below. So you go ahead and search it up, and you can skip the parts if you like. In all my videos, I have the timestamps on the bottom, okay? Just in case you want to skip all the way to the charts, or you want to skip to the dreams, or any specific topic that you like. In all my videos, I always contain timestamps, okay? So right now I'm going to discuss of what happened with Charlie Kirk last week, and my points of view, and what God has been telling me about this whole situation. And, you know, after the shooting, first of all, I want to call out Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, because that was crazy. I don't know. I think this guy should be accountable. Facebook, yeah. Because when I saw the shooting, I didn't see it openly. You know, I remember it was around 3 p.m., September 10th, Central Time, U.S. Central Time. And when I heard about the whole situation, I was curious. I was like, oh, okay, he got shot. Okay, I want to see. You know, that was the first thing I want to see. What happened. And I had to go to different websites. You know, these websites where you can see everything raw. You know, there's websites that allow you to see everything graphic. And surely I was like, wow, this is true. I had no doubt in my mind that this was not AI. I knew this was real. When I saw it, I knew in my head, I was like, this is real. And then, okay, so I continued with my day. I had to work that day. Later that night, you know, I was eating some late dinner. And then after that, I was going to go to sleep. But, you know, so it's late night, and September 10th still, or September 11th to be exact. And I was just scrolling on my phone while eating. And then I see the video of Charlie Kirk getting assassinated with no restrictions. Like, this video did not had any... Would you like to continue? This video is highly graphic, or this video has been reported inappropriate by many users. I didn't got no warning about that the next video is going to be violent. They could have at least put that, but no. When I was in Facebook, I saw the whole thing playing just automatically like any other video, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're going to play this in front of everybody? So I pointed back to Mark Zuckerberg, and all of these platforms, I'm talking about from Google, Facebook, IG, Snapchat. You got all of these social media platforms that originated from California. And California is known to be leftist, super left. Now, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just telling you the truth. Now, I have a lot of love for my Californian people, and no hate for you guys. It's just the government. It's just the government, guys, that I don't agree with. And I said in my head, okay, so if somebody from the left got shot like this, I wonder if they'll even permit it to be surfaced all around social media. I don't think so. It'll be, at most, it'll be blurred. But this guy, since he was from the right, they're going to show it all out, uncensored, even to young kids. So, I don't know. I think Charlie Kirk's wife or team, they should go against Facebook for doing that, because who wants to see their husband being shot? And much less being viewed by millions of people all around the world. And it's not fair, guys. To be honest, when I saw that, I pointed back to Mark Zuckerberg or his team, anybody who is in charge of that. And to be honest, I have never seen something graphic play on Facebook just like that without no permission, or even if it was shown graphically, they didn't even blur it. So to my perspective, I think that the people in that platform had joy to see it or let other people see it. And it shouldn't be like that. Especially, just think about it. If you had a family member, a loved one, or anything like that, God forbid, if you had anybody like that, if you had anybody get shot or assassinated graphically, it got recorded, then it got surfaced on social media, but they didn't put no ban, they didn't put no pixels or blur, they didn't blur anything. How would you feel? I will feel that the whole organization is against me, or is against my belief. So I know these guys let it surface so everybody can know, because they were probably having fun with it. They were probably laughing at it. So that's my take with that. I am really bothered with that, because I know nobody wants to see their loved one being taken down like that. So let me tell you a little bit about how I knew about Charlie Kirk. To be honest, I didn't even follow Turning Point USA. I didn't even follow Charlie Kirk. I did see him surface online every now and then on YouTube, but I didn't always agree with his points of view politically. Now, biblically, I did agree with him about 100% of the time. Biblically, he's on point. But when it comes politically, I had different stance about it. You know, I know he was like more, I guess, very on the right side. But to be honest, I'm a little bit more balanced. I try to look out for people as well. You know what I mean? So that's all I can say. That's all I can say in my part. Politically, yeah, I had some clashes. That's why I didn't always see him, you know. But in the end of the day, that doesn't mean somebody's supposed to get shot like that. I always disagree with that. He's a human. This guy got shot like an animal. When I saw how the shooter shot him, I first thought he was a hunter, because animals get shot like that with no mercy. They get shot anywhere, like almost anywhere. And I've seen, I've seen blood spill all over and everything like that, but only when I watch hunting videos, right? When I see those type of videos, I see stuff like that, not on people. So that's what I thought. I thought this guy was probably a hunter, whoever shot him, because some people are saying that he's not the shooter. But we're going to get to that, okay? So the Holy Spirit is telling me that during that event where he shot Charlie, there is a lot more than one person involved in there. I'm hearing in my spirit, I'm hearing 5. That's what I hear in my spirit. It could be more. Now, I also heard, I have a client, I own a business, guys, and this client was telling me that before Kirk arrived to that university, there was a petition signed by 940 people, students, I guess locals. It didn't really specify. It just said it was signed by 940 people for him to not come to UVU, to that Utah university. Is it Utah Valley University? So you already had about 1,000 people that were against it, minus the people that attended. I mean, and I'm not sure if that's included. Some of those people are included in those 3,000, 3,500 people that attended in that event. I think that was one of the largest events. I've also heard that this was his first major tour, and I guess with a large attendance like this. And to be honest, if you have like large attendance like that, and knowing how the nation is, I wouldn't doubt you have like a few crazy people amongst those thousands of people, to be honest, because I don't even think positive of the United States right now, where we are. And it's not new. I don't share it that often just to avoid conflict, you know, politically or whatever. And that's just me. That's just my stance. Everybody has a job to get closer to God. And no, don't let this event get you closer to God. Don't let something bad get closer. Get close to God because you need him. Get close to God because your soul feels empty. Get close to God because he's worthy of praise. Get close to God because you only get answers from him when you call upon him. You know, and that's how I feel. When I call upon him, when I need help, I tell you, God, I need your help. God, what should I do? And he answers most of the time. And it all depends how much time we invest with him. Okay, guys, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, all right, concerning the shooters or whatever, I also, like a day, 2 days later, like a day later after the shooting, I heard God telling me he was sent by the elite. And for those who ask themselves, who is the elite? Let me break it down to you, okay? These guys are going to be super rich people. And the elite not necessarily have to live in the United States. They're globally, okay? They push a super leftist agenda. What is it? The Antichrist agenda. One of their agendas is going against Christians. They have their own religion. It's to adore the beast or the Antichrist as well. But it's to worship the devil. That's their agenda, okay? Now, the elite is something that you call la ONU in Spanish. La Organización de Naciones Unidas is the UN, United Nations. For those who want to be more specific of who is the elite, that's who the elite is. Now, another thing, United Nations. Also, you want to point at the Vatican as well. Beneath the Vatican, according to a prophet that he revealed, that on the very bottom of that Vatican, you have devil worshippers, which is the same Pope. You got the people, the priests, everybody doing the devil's work. And two of their main subjects is this: going against Christianity or silence the Christian people, inject fear, persecuting them, killing them. And then the second is the kidnapping of infant babies. And you ask yourself, why they want to kidnap infant babies? Why they want to kidnap children? Well, they are the ones who are behind the traffic rings, the human traffic hubs. The cartels listen to their orders in Mexico and all over Latin America. They're the ones pulling the strings. They're the ones who want nations that fall to depend on them. They want nations to be run by criminals. They're the ones who want to run the agenda of the Antichrist. Now, this is what I've also heard, that they want to abduct babies so they can sacrifice them to the devil as well. I have no doubt they'll try to do something like that. So now I expose some secrets to you guys. There's a lot of people being aimed, being targeted when they reveal these secrets. But I'm just telling you because we're in the end of the times. So you people will know, should know. So just to keep in mind, the mass shootings, the child trafficking, or the human trafficking, the drugs, all of that comes from them. The leftist agenda, the authoritarians, the tyrants, the people that twist the truth, the people that twist the laws. Now, in my opinion, I think the FBI should be investigated because you get a lot of contradicting comments from the FBI about this case with Kirk. The FBI should be investigated. Trump's team, Trump's cabinet should be investigated. I'm not saying I'm against him, okay, guys? I'm not saying that. But I think a good cleansing should be going on just to see who's on the enemy side. You don't know secretly who's in the enemy side. You don't know who's running as a spy. Okay, guys, these guys are everywhere. And they're not going to back down without a fight. That's what's happening right now. And I have no doubt that these people are going to target prominent people that stand for Trump. Okay, guys? In my spirit, pray for Nick Shirley. Because in my spirit, I hear his name. I can see his name. Okay? I can see his name. And I want you guys to pray for him. Sure, he doesn't always talk about God or Jesus. He's like a journalist. But I want you to pray for him over protection and to give him wisdom as well in whatever decision he does when he's over there running around just recording. I know he brings content to his people, but it's not all about just content. It's about wisdom as well, to use it, especially in these times. The left, or let's say the elites, are targeting people who are prominent for Trump and Christianity as well, because that's their end game. That's their end agenda against Christianity. But since Trump is protected, since they can't do much about trying to take down Trump, they may try to take him down a few more times. But since they have trouble, and that's delaying them a little bit, they're going to aim people connected to them. People they think they have less protection. People they think they're more vulnerable. They're going to aim to these people next. Just to let you guys know. This is a bit obvious, in my opinion. So this is more than just, a community, a liberal or a leftist community or a trans community. It goes much more deeper with that. And the guy that got caught, he's a rabbit hole. That's what I've been hearing in my spirit. He's a rabbit hole. So anything that the FBI is withholding, be careful with that. You got to start firing people from the FBI if they're hesitant or they don't want to release the facts to the public. So we all know, because this guy right here that got captured, he's a rabbit hole to many rabbit holes. That's what the Holy Spirit is telling me right now. Okay, guys, so I already gave you my point of view, my points of view of everything. Facebook or any social platform that revealed Charlie Kirk's death graphically on the open should be investigated, in my opinion. The FBI should be investigated. Who else? Trump's cabinet or the right, as well as the left. The left is the Democrat Party in the United States is not excluded in this, of course. But I didn't mention them because it's no brainer to scan all those people. And the right, which is the Republican Party. Everybody should be investigated. This is the same thing that Bukele did in his cabinet. While he cleaned his whole country, he told himself and he told everybody in his team, in his government, in his cabinet, he said, I'm going to investigate. He wanted to know if anybody was a spy, if anybody was a traitor. So guess what he did? He investigated each one of them and he said, if you stay with me and nothing was found in you, great, you will continue your job. But if something is found in you, it was a pleasure working with you. All I can tell you is farewell. Because you don't know who has a secret agenda behind your back. All right, guys, let me go right now with the dreams, okay? So during the crash of BNB Tiger, that's when BNB Tiger split. You got the OG, the old BNB Tiger, and then you got the new one, where the owners want to begin from zero, I guess, supposedly. And when that happened, BNB Tiger crashed. It took at least 1-0. Now, I asked God, what should I do? What should I do in here? And you know what he told me? He said, did I told you to do anything? Did I told you to sell? And I said, no. Then just leave it there. That's what he told me. I only asked him once or twice. I remember I got a little bit worried that night and I told him, should I sell? Should I invest in this new coin that they're trying to do? And this is what he told me. Did I told you to sell? Did I told you to move from your position? And I said no. And then he said, then leave it there. I didn't said anything to you. I didn't give you any instructions regarding BNB Tiger. So leave it there. That's what he told me. Okay. Now let's go to the BNB Dream. So the BNB Dream, I remember it was kind of like a apocalyptic scene. I don't know where I was. It looked like I was in Florida, somewhere in the southern states. Florida, Alabama, maybe Mississippi. I didn't recognize this place. It looked like, I think it was Florida, closer to the Everglades. And I remember I saw like a wheel. It was like a watermill. And the wheel was turning so fast, like real fast. You had these tigers in this wheel. And in this wheel, each tiger were grown. So in this wheel, you had adult tigers. But they all look tiny. They all look like, I don't know, I'd say like a quarter or even less than that. They all look small. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, they were probably like 20% or a quarter or somewhere around there smaller than an adult size. But they all look like adults. They didn't look like small little tigers. No, they were full grown, but they were kind of like miniature sized. And they were all inside of this wheel, and this wheel was spinning real fast. That all these tigers inside this wheel, it was weird, because when this wheel started to spin so fast, all these tigers started to they start being launched out of the wheel, and they all start dying. I saw a lot of blood all over the place. So I had this dream, that dream about the tigers and the wheel in September 6th. So I saw all these tigers dying. The wheel was spinning so fast, and the tigers were dying. And I knew I know this dream was talking about BNB Tiger and people losing their money. And then I saw a big community. And I'm just going to be specific so everybody will know. But I saw a black community. You know, I don't know if it was only, I saw the US black community. I'm not sure about Africa, but I saw a black community, a lot of them. And they were all being affected by it. They were all sad. They were all, everybody. I was affected by it because I'm invested in BNB Tiger. Because all these tigers were dying, and I knew that this was referring to BNB Tiger, the crash. And I remember seeing, like, specifically like the black community being affected by this, and then they all start going against the people that were promoting BNB Tiger, and they were going against me. And these were brothers and sisters, I suppose. I'm not sure. Some of them were, but they were all going against me. They were going after me. All this community that were invested in the BNB Tiger. And I told you, hey guys, I got to tell you guys, I told them, I am affected too. I had some loss in it too. I don't know what you guys talking about. I am affected about it too. You guys think I'm the owner, or I dipped. You know, I was part of the pump and dump, and I rug pull everybody. No. Now, if I did that, that's a different story. But no, I was just an investor just like you guys. I was affected by it too. All those large winnings, well, they dissipated. I suffered just like you. Thank God, not everything went away, but big time I was affected by it. So I remember all these people were trying to accuse me. You know, all these people during that dream. Maybe there was a lot of people during that time, during that crash with the BNB Tiger, were feeling that way. But you guys have no idea. I mean, it affected me too, okay? Just to let you guys know. I'm just an investor. I am not part of the BNB Tiger team, or the moderators, or the devs, anything like that. Now let me go to the next dream. Now there's also a billboard in the routes that I drive of a tiger. It's an ad. It's promoting a business, but there's a tiger. The tiger represents that business. And what's so funny, it's just, I wouldn't call it, it's like a coincidence. I wouldn't call it like a coincidence, but what's funny is that when BNB Tiger crashed, like, it threw away that zero, like it recovered a zero. When it crashed, that billboard, guess what, guys? I will most of the time see it at night, and the lighting of that billboard turned off. So at nighttime, when you see it, you have to see it closely to see that there's a tiger in that billboard, because at nighttime you cannot see it unless you're surrounded by city lights. But other than that, it's very dark to see that billboard. And I was like, is that the tiger billboard? It shut off. And I was like, oh, I was connecting dots. And I was seeing how God is communicating through this. So God knows about BNB Tiger. God knows about this project, because when BNB Tiger crashed, When it recovered another 0, that billboard went dark. It went dark, guys. You know, there's a light bulb or light bulbs around that billboard so it can light up while at night. But that billboard was dark. I was like, wow, okay. But guess what? Like a week later or so, when everybody start kind of like forgetting about the BNB Tiger crash, guess what happened? The lights of that billboard went back on and the tiger's still there. That tiger billboard is still there. I was like, wow. It's like God knows about this. God knows everything about this. And to tell you the truth, to this day, God is still telling me to invest in BNB Tiger. I know a lot of you guys can relate to me. Not in dreams, but, you know, in the open. When I go day to day, I see tigers. Not real tigers, but like maybe on TV or in billboards. Or anything like in ads, I see tigers. And I know God is telling me to invest in this, still invest in this token. Though it already crashed. So there's that, guys. Now, let me go to the next dream. So I had this dream in California. Near Venice Beach. Venice Beach is right there by Santa Monica. Around that area. I saw a lot of shops. That's why I thought this was California. I saw a lot of like boutique shops, kind of like shops where people are selling clothing. Like I saw even high-end clothing around there. And by the entrance of all these stores, this strip center, I can see the water coming in. I can see the beach. First I thought it was Corpus Christi. First I thought it was the Texas coast, but it wasn't. Later, I confirmed that this was California. Because in my spirit, I felt like I was facing the west, not the east. And if I was facing the east or southeast, that'll be the Texas coast. But it wasn't like that. First, I thought I was like in Corpus Christi, but I wasn't. I was trying to engrave that in my head. Maybe this was Corpus Christi, but then later God confirmed to me that this is around the LA area. This was around Venice Beach, somewhere around there. And I remember I was around there and I was trying to open a store there, like a clothing store. I don't know, with other people. There was a lot of people there, a lot of people around there, and a lot of people supporting me. I think I was opening this shop with somebody else. I cannot remember, but I know I saw a lot of people going in. The shop looked nice. It was a brand new shop. And I remember the water was trying to come in, was coming towards all the strip center, the shops. And I was like, oh, dang, it's trying to come in. So everybody got inside. It was nothing but Americans, you know. Everybody was trying to go inside there. We all came inside my shop. This was my shop. It looked like a luxury shop. And the water was coming in, but it was just like at toe level. You know what I mean? It was below the ankles. It was coming in, but not as intensely. And then I was like, okay, I gotta be worried. This is gonna get probably worse. And then I saw some people in construction. They start building like banks, like ditches in front of the beach, like between the beach and the concrete, where you have the sidewalk where people walk in front of the shops, and people were digging like. They were digging deep ditches. You know what I mean? So that's what they were doing. And they were trying to prevent the water from coming in. And in my head, I was like, guys, this is ocean water. This thing is just gonna go over that easily. This is ocean water. Ocean water is like infinite. You cannot stop that. How are you going to stop it? Like the best you can do is probably build levees. That's the best you can do. Build walls. Like you have in New Orleans, you got levees because the city is below sea level. So guess what? The water started coming in at full force, this time at full force. And they came just barreling with full force in all these shops, including mine. And I was like, wow, it just went. Man, this water reached about 4 feet. This was above waist level. Yeah. It was about 4 feet tall. And you know, when it comes at full force, it's even taller because you got the tides coming in. So I'd say it was about 5 to 6 feet. It was probably a complete story. Some of these shops, you also had 2 stories, and then the second floor was completely fine. It was just the first floor that took the hits. And what God is telling me is that pray for LA. Pray for that area, for the beach area, all that, because a tsunami might be on their way. I don't know when. I don't know if it's 2026. When I get most of these dreams, I really do not get times or dates. Most of the time, I don't. What I want you guys is to pray for California. We got brothers and sisters there. Okay? Pray for them. Pray for them. Pray for my state of Texas as well. Pray for the United States. You know? And so that's what's telling me, that there's a pending tsunami wanting to hit the LA area or California. This could be also a sign that it could hit anywhere in California or the West Coast, as a matter of fact, but mostly over there by the LA area, because where you got that area of Venice Beach, you also got Santa Monica, and then several miles away south, you got Long Beach. But he is emphasizing Venice Beach, Santa Monica area, around that area. A major tsunami is going to hit there. So just pray about these things, guys. I have these dreams just to prepare and equip God's people to pray against certain things for repentance, so people can get closer to God. We're on the end times, guys. Yeah, I mean, that's all I could tell you. It's not going to be all rainbows and roses and everything like that. We're in the end times. We just got to expect of things like this to happen. Okay? And talking about the end times, we all forgot about the blood moon that happened, you know, during the shooting. Before the shooting, there was a blood moon. There was a lunar eclipse, if I'm right. And nobody's discussing that. But when you see a blood moon, is another sign of the times we're in. That's biblical as well, guys. Let me go to the next topic. So I just want to mention another thing, what God told me about Bitcoin. I made a post about this. I'm not sure if it was in the beginning of this year. I think it was in the beginning of 2024. But it'd been a while ago. And I remember God told me that Bitcoin was created to wash the dirty clothes of the U.S. government. I got this word when Biden was still in office. Okay? So this is what he told me about Bitcoin. He said, Bitcoin was made for money laundering. Bitcoin was made to wash the dirty clothes of the U.S. government. So what that tells me, that at some point, the U.S. government was involved in money laundering. Any dirty acts, they created Bitcoin to wash all their dirty acts, all their dirty transactions. And you got to think about it. Bitcoin was immediately created after 2008, if I'm correct. I think it was created 2009. So you got to put these puzzles together. And during every election year, U.S. election year, what do you have? You got a Bitcoin halving. It's like they already pre-planned this, guys. Okay? I want you guys to follow me in this. All right, so there's that. Okay, the most recent dream, it was about a pirate ship. This was September 8th. Okay, September 8th. Okay, I was in a freeway. I was driving. I was running errands. And I was going back and forth in this freeway. Just running errands where I live. But this freeway looked a little different. This bridge where I was driving my car. And it was a tall bridge. I thought this was the bridge located over there in Corpus Christi. You know, there's a new bridge now there. And I was put some pictures on there. Or the one in East Houston. There's another tall bridge around there. But I was in one of those tall bridges in Texas. And but there was a city around there as well. And I was just doing my business, going back and forth. And then, let's say I was driving on that bridge, right? Just driving at my speed. And then I saw a ship. it was a tall pirate ship. It was a huge pirate ship. Yeah, I think I saw even the black flag and with the skull and, you know, that typical flag that they have in the old seemingly pirate ships that you see in the movies and whatnot. But you have a really huge pirate ship. It was as tall as the freeway. I've never seen anything like that. And it was just sitting, it was anchored down. Nobody was in the pirate ship that I remember. It was old wood. I saw the pillars, those poles that stretch out from the middle of the ship. And it was just sitting there. It was anchored down. So at the same time, I saw another brother in Christ. And if you're curious, I'm not going to say your name, but you told me to take down a video, which I will pretty soon. It's you. I saw you, man. I saw you, brother, in this dream. And you were actually in your car. You were driving alone and you were happy. You had a big smile. So we were just driving. He was going one direction and I'm going the other direction. I was going east. He was going west. And when I was going east, he was going west. So we will always meet each other in that bridge, but we were always driving and he'll be always smiling. I remember he'll be smiling at me. Well, it was funny though. And then we were just driving back and forth. And then in one of these trips, I saw the pirate ship being tied towards the freeway. It was in such a manner that the ship was leaning to the left. It was just leaning to one side diagonally. Because they tied it, I don't know, weirdly, they tied it firmly to the freeway, but the ship was leaning to the left. Now, I was still driving in that freeway or that bridge, whatever you want to call it, that highway. And what God is telling me is that I'm bringing the wealth of the wicked to my people. Stop being busy. That's what he was telling me. Stop being busy. He was telling me that I know you got things to do, but when I bring this wealth transfer, it's not going to be forever. There's a small window. And he was telling me that you got to be curious enough to go down, get below that freeway and investigate that ship. Because right there is where I contain the wealth transfer. And then he told me that this is the wealth of the wicked. Okay? That ship, that pirate ship, represents the wealth of the wicked. That's what he was telling me. So me driving and seeing that other brother driving is not only concerning him, it's concerning all the Christian community, all the Christian people. So when the wealth transfer comes, when the crypto pumps or when crypto crashes, don't be busy, guys. Don't be too busy. Be like an eagle, be like a hawk watching it. And investigate and get your loot. Okay? Which I'm going to conclude about the times, you know, that we're going to go in, the windows that I'm going to be watching. Okay? I'm going to show you right now after this dream the windows that I'll be watching, the dates. So all in all, God wanted me to go down and actually step in that ship and investigate that ship, because that's where we have the chest of gold coins, of golden coins, of gold, of everything. I see jewelry. I see diamonds, jewels. I see a lot of gold coins. I see a lot of gold in there. But what God is telling me is that stop being busy, because this opportunity is not always going to be there. Next thing you know, if that dream should have continued and I still drove in that highway, there could be a good chance that I wouldn't see it anymore. What God is telling me is that God is bringing the wealth of the wicked to us, in front of us. Just don't be busy. Don't be too busy. Make some time, get your loot, and exit. Exit. Right now, I'm going to explain the exit plan that I have, okay? All right, so as you can see in this calendar, I have September of this year and October of this year. And this is the window that I'm expecting of the crypto peaks, specifically on the 19th or after, okay? And this is pretty much after the rate cuts. So I'm expecting around this time to see the peaks, a good time to sell. Now, I want to give you a warning, okay, guys? After mid-October, you have to wrap up already. After mid-October, after October 15, 16, 17, you got to start wrapping up. Either you're exiting already or you're planning your exit. Or you already exited, and which is fine. But this is the time frame where I want to be exiting. Where I'm telling God's people to exit. Now, this is not financial advice. You use it as a discretion. Now, let's say it didn't peak. Let's say you didn't saw a lot of progress. Be at the door. Be at the exit door, okay? Don't be writing this down. Don't be waiting for another major peak. What if it peaked, but you're waiting for another major peak? What if Shiba Inu went to like 0.001? If you're still waiting for that dollar Shiba Inu, be careful with that. Take some gains. Let's say Shiba Inu goes to 10 cents or 20 cents or 50 cents. And it's taken a while. And let's say it's already October 19th. It's time to wrap up, guys. We cannot wait for a certain price. For those who got that peak, waiting for the peak, it's a hit or miss. If Shiba Inu goes to $1 or not. Or $2. But what I'm trying to tell you is that don't wait for crypto to go even more up. Don't get greedy. Like I said this quote before in one of my videos. Pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered. All right, so this is what I'm going to tell you right now. Around October 16th, 17th, 18th, actually from the 15th to the 17th. If you see crypto after the 17th, like let's say October 18th and 19th, 19 being the last day. I counted the dates, guys, from all the crypto cycles. I've even mentioned this in my Dave Melodioso blueprint, which I'm going to get in a moment. But right now, when you see crypto going down after the 16th, 17th, 18th, and at most the 19th, when you start seeing crypto going from, let's say, Bitcoin going from 135 and it's going to 130, and then it's already October 20th, and you see Bitcoin going to 128, that's your cue. You got to start planning already. This thing is going down already. October 21, it goes down to like 125,000. Bitcoin goes to 125K. That's your cue. You're already missing it. But guess what? Even if you didn't catch the peak, you're still good. You're still positive. Altcoins usually peak later. You know, you're still going to have some altcoins that peak different dates, but I cannot predict all of them, guys. Everybody likes to be greedy, but I wish I had the peak dates for every altcoin. But unfortunately, I don't have that. We're just going to work with what we have and play it by ear. That's the best thing I could tell you right now. Okay? So by the last days of September, like I would say, like I said, September 19th, 2025, all the way to like mid-October, a good time to start looking for peaks for altcoins and even Bitcoin. Okay? Ethereum leads a lot of the altcoins. Same thing with BNB. Pay attention with BNB as well. When BNB peaks, it's being funneled to other BNB tokens like WikiCat, BNB Frog, BNB Tiger. Okay, so be aware of these dates right here because this is the exit window. And I'm expecting it to go down after October 19th. If not, during October 19th or 18th, it's already on its way down. Okay? Now, some people might tell me, but Dave, what if it hasn't peaked all the way? What if it's still on its way up? Well, that's why I tell you, you stand on the door. You be the judge of your money. You be the judge. But I already told you, that's my speculation. This is just speculation. And you guys already know that I'm not always right in my speculations. But this is my plan because I already counted in my Dave Melodioso blueprint. I already told you guys, 11 to 12 months after the halving, which you got the first Bitcoin peak. 17 to 18 months after the halving, you have the second peak. Unfortunately, that didn't happen in this Bitcoin cycle of the first peak. That's why my prediction didn't came to pass. And I was eagerly waiting for that like around March or April, but it was really stagnant. The peak actually came earlier. I think around December, January of this year. But the 17th and 18th month, the second, which is the last peak of the Bitcoin cycle, this is for Bitcoin, it's going to be 17 and 18 months from the halving. The halving happened in April 19th of 2024. So that means you count 17 to 18 months, what that gives you. September 19th to October 19th of this year, 2025. Okay, that's how I got the dates. You guys might be saying, no, this time is going to be different. History repeats itself. Now, if you want to join and jump off of the cliff with other crypto influencers, that's up to you. But just be on the door. What if it continues upon, like by the end of October, let's say, or November? Be at the door, because you don't know if they're going to just rug pull it, which that's their plan. They're just going to rug pull it. Most of the time, Bitcoin crashes gradually. It takes days and weeks. Save some money on the side, put some money on reserve, because a year's time from the 18th month from the halving, you have around October of 2026, and that's going to be the bottom of the bear market. But Dave, what about the flash crash? The flash crash could come around that time, 2026, October 2026. Shoot, it could come this year. I don't know, guys. So you see what I mean? You always be at the door. Okay, that's all I have for you guys for now. I also want to give a quick shout out to Big Ward, the genius. And I have these two screenshots of these two videos that I really like. The first one saying warning from a port trucker. That one's pretty good. That was the first video I saw from him, well, on my YouTube feed. Now his second video is more interesting. This one says, I bet they believe Mr. Doom and Gloom now. And this video, when you skip it all the way to the end, I'd say like the last 4 or 5 minutes, he's talking about an upcoming famine. Him as a trucker, he's saying this. Wow, it just gives me confirmation that what God was telling me in that vision about the famine is true. I mean, I didn't doubt God that he wasn't going to lie to me or any lying spirit, but I just knew things were going to come. So quick shout out to him. I'm going to have those links below in the description so you can see it in your time. He's a pretty cool guy, down to earth. So shout out to him. Shout out to Big Ward, and God bless everybody. Thanks for listening. I'm at the Bitcoin chart at this moment, and I'm going to keep it simple this time. I'm right here at CoinGecko.com, the Bitcoin chart. And I want you to see the peaks, okay, of the past, I don't know, 3 peak cycles, including this one. So let's start in 2017. And 2017, December, like around, I don't know, I'd say. So right here, it only shows me like what, December 13th. I think the peak was December 11th, somewhere around there, all the way to, I say January 11th, somewhere around there. January 8th, you had the peak going around there, 2017, 2018, right at the cusp. And then the next one, you have the 2021, you had the 2 peaks. And this one, you had it over here in, what do you call it? May 11th was the last time. Yeah, May 11th. That was the last part of the first peak. And then the second peak came on 6 months from that time. Well, it was 6 months from that time, and it is between October and November. And this one, just like the last one, I am thinking it's going to be about the same, but just 1 month before. So since the last peak was October, November, which it was 2021, this one, I'm predicting that it'll be sometime the later half of this month, September, all the way to mid-October, maybe by the end of October at most. I want you to look at the present peak right now. It looks ripe, guys. This thing is already good enough to enter the bear market. We're just going to hit maybe 135K. That's my prediction, because it slowed down dramatically. Like after, I don't know, June, July, it slowed down a lot, more than I thought, because it was going fast big time. It was going up big time, but it slowed down. It hammered the brakes, and From that point on, I was like, I don't know. I think they're just gonna push it to like 135K, and then that's it. Now there could be a possibility that it could break the cycle structure, and it's going to go full gas, no brakes from there, which means I cannot predict when the peak, or I cannot go by the cycle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because if it continues to rally post October, we just got to be very careful around that time, because we don't know when they'll rug pull everything. So they could rug pull in November, December, January, but those months are going to be uncharted waters. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So just be careful with that big time, because this chart, to me, it looks already ripe enough. The peak on the last one was like what, 67K, 68, 69K, and we're kind of close to doubling that. We're already what is it, 116. So best it can go is like 130, 140 maybe, 145K at most. And from there, kaboom. So let's go to TradingView. And this is the 4-hour chart. I usually trade on the 4-hour chart. And as you can see at this diagonal green line, it went through it. And I was expecting it to go down, which it did for a little bit, but it just went back up. So this thing is just playing around until the rate cuts come in. Maybe it could go all the way down until, like around, 2 p.m. Central Time, somewhere around there. I think the rate cuts, I got to look at the time, guys. I am going to look at the time tomorrow, but right now as I record, it's 11:38 p.m. Central Time. Technically, it's still the 16th, just to give you guys some records. And this thing can go, actually still go below this blue area. These blue bars that you see down here. How about this? Let's concentrate on this blue rectangle. And this is the area where the buyers were all here, just accumulated and then just shot it up. Same thing here. This is the area where the people, the buyers accumulated and then shot it up. Same here, shot it up, shot it up. So this blue area is kind of like a record saying that this is the area before it shot up. I don't know how to say that, but I'll look into it later. The green lines are fair value gaps. So usually when you see the green rectangles, the green boxes, the market has to go back to those areas to fill it in before it goes back up or continues to go back down. So I still depend on these lines, as you can see, these green lines. And like I said, guys, I'm still studying all this. So I'm just showing just a little bit of what I'm doing around here. I haven't been trading that much lately, just FYI. But let's go to the next chart. For Bitcoin, I am expecting it to go maybe down here before the rate cuts come. So the rate cuts are going to come like, okay, so it's 11:40 p.m. right now. So maybe like 15 hours from now, I am expecting it to for Bitcoin to go extremely up, like a god candle. So at least that's what I think. It should happen like that. Now let's go to the next chart, the Dixie chart. This is the dollar. This is the strength of the dollar, the value of the dollar, the US dollar. And as you can see recently on this 4-hour chart, it's been going down, this long dip. So this is good news, because it's going to give momentum to shoot up, especially after the rate cuts. Like I said, around 14 hours from now, from the time I'm recording this, it's 11:40. So 14 hours from now should be like around 2 p.m. Central Time. All right, Central US time. And I drew a line right here, as you can see. So by the time it penetrates this, it could go up for a little bit, but once it touches on the opposite side of this line, it's confirming that there's some respect on this line, which means it's positive because it can shoot up later on, especially during the rate cuts. And this is positive for the, well, yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty positive if you want to take some trades, buying trades. But hey, if you want to put some selling trades on the Dixie, you can also do that. All right, these red rectangles that you see around here, is the moment where all these sellers, the people just gathered around here and just the last time they saw this price, and then they just started selling. With the blue line, it's opposite. If this was blue, the price will go up. Every time you see these red lines, it's the last time you saw the price at a certain point before it starts selling. These are for the red rectangle. So let's go to the gold. The gold, you see opposite. You see blue lines, blue rectangles, I'm sorry. And then from that point on, from this point on, they shot up. Buyers all came in and they shot it up, and it created a fair value gap right here. So when you see a fair value gap right here, it's a good sign that the market could go down, like all the way down here. So I still put another, what do you call this, a trending line to put another confirmation. So once it penetrates through this trending line, this upward trending line, then it's going to fill up this value gap. And how do I get the value gap? Well, from this point, from the top of this candle and the bottom of this candle. And that's how you get it, because there's kind of like the price just jumped up. It skipped. It didn't went gradually like this, like up, down, up, down. It just skipped. It just went. So what the markets tend to do, they end up going here, filling up this gap, and then they decide whether they go up or down or continue to go down. And then this right here, this is another target. If the sellers end up being around this area right here, this could be a point of interest that the market could go up or even lower to the next one. Okay, so this area is a point of interest before it starts shooting up. Same thing right here, area of interest before it starts shooting up. Yeah, so it's a good time to sell, in my opinion. Not financial advisor. Always use your practice, your paper accounts or your demo accounts. All right, so I'm gonna keep it short for this time, and that's it for now, guys.